Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Najiha and my partner is Nur Farisha. So now I want to do for the task 6 based on question. Repeat the process of the task 5 by integration of ESP plus BME 280 on premis server of task 4. So now for the task 4, I have for localhost, chat PHP and uh, for me, I use the local tunnel. So this is the URL for local tunnel for sensor chat PHP. So now, based on question, we need to construct the ESP8266 with the BME sensor 280 sensor. You may refer the circuit from this link. So this link is here. So for me, I use ESP2866 and BME. So now, this is the ESP. Before that, I want to zoom first. So now, this is ESP and VCC and ground. I connect to the ESP and for SEL on the GPIO 5 and SDA on the GPIO 4. So now let's go to the coding. So now we need to insert the ESP and the BME on the laptop. So we need to write the MicroPython program to prompt the serial com terminal the temperature, humidity and pressure of the BME 280 sensor for reading for every 15 seconds. So now we go to the open the new folder MicroPython sensor. So now open the folder for VS Code. To open the VS Code, just type CMD. CMD is command prompt. And to open the VS Code, just type CODE space dot. And automatically in the VS Code. So now open the terminal. Open the terminal and download the file of BME 280 sensor. So for the file, we get from yusuf.net modules and copy, control sorry, need to type curl and the file name is bme280.py and paste to me. The next is for the MicroPython, we need to have a boot py file. So for the boot.py, file name is boot.py, and copy the link. Control V. So now for file BME 280 sensor and boot.py is here, and next is for the file main.py. This is to start the program. So now let's start the program. So we use the from file BME 280 and the class is also BME 280. So import class. For the class is BME 280. The next is we need to create the time. We need to create the every 15 seconds. So from new time import sleep. And next is for sensor, we use the machine import the I2C. So from machine import, we use pin. So import pin I2C. So the next is on the question, we need to use JSON data for HTTP request and response activities. So we need to create the from JSON import dumps, and next is from import post. We use post because to send a post request to specific URL. So next is we need to create for the cable. For the cable, we use I2C cable. This is how to write. This is how to write the cable. So Control C, Control V, and put in the comment. So for the cable is equal to I2C. For S, just copy on here. Control V. For SEL is a pin. Sorry. SEL is a pin 5. For SEA is a pin 4. For frequency, we use 100,000 because this is how ESP and BME 280 communicate. So next is, sorry for the cable, we need to put S. So next is we need to create looping while true. So in the class we have property of the temperature, pressure and humidity. So for the T is temperature, we use float because the output is in the number. So float sensor dot temperature. Before that, we need to create a sensor object. For the sensor, we use DME to X0 and I to C equal to cable. So now let's continue. To flash the unit, we need to use -1. Next is for humidity, H equal to float sensor dot humidity and flash the mark is -1. The last is for pressure, float sensor dot pressure and flash the mark. The unit is PHA, so we need to delete on -3. The next is we need to create the data. So for the data is equal to, we use value. For value 1 is equal to temperature. For value 2 is oh sorry. So for value 2 is humidity, and the third value is P, pressure. So next is we create the JSON. For the JSON data is equal to dumps dictionary data, and next is we create the, before that we need to print the JSON data, and next is we need to create the request headers is equal to, for the request headers we use on the request headers. We need to copy the okay. We need to copy this one. Inshallah. Ctrl C, and before that we need to put on the code. Oh sorry. and paste. Control V. And for the content type, we put in the string. What's wrong? And next is we create for response. For the response, just put on the R is equal to this URL. For URL, we need to put on here. So for URL, and next is data. In the JSON data, and next is header. It's equal to request headers. Just copy. Control C, Control V. So next is for the next is we need to print for the R the status underscore code and print the R.x, and the last is we close it. Response close and print.
After the response close, put the column. Response close.
So last is we need to create for every 15 seconds for every reading. So sleep 15. So for URL, before that we save first, and for URL we just copy on this. Before that I delete for this one. Click for Sensor API to get the URL. Control C and back to the chart and paste on here. Control V. So for the local host, we need to change it to we need to change on the IP address. Just copy, Control C and Control V. Now save. Let's try run. Or before that, we need to upload first on the ESP. Connect the device. Open the terminal. And for boot PY, we need to change the SSID for on the your own hotspot. So 040, the password is
Connect balik.
Control C. Before that, to make safe, because the ESP capacity is small, so let's flash first. close the CMD, close for the VS Code, and we flash first. Wait for a while to flash the ESP.
Until 100%.
So now it's done. Just close and open back the VS Code. And then wait for a while.
Okay, macam mana?
Lambat sikit. So now let's continue. Just connect and open the terminal. Sorry. Just open the terminal. And we need to upload for boot PY first on the ESP. So enter. Next is upload the PME. And the last, before that, we need to run first to connect the hotspot. So now the hotspot is connected. Next is let's try run. Maker. Oh, upload first. And let's see the graph. Bismillah. Okay, so for the first reading is successful. For the second is also successful. So now full screen. Nampak keluar. So just stop Control C. Let's save first. And now let's try for the URL of the Le container. So change passive. So change it based on this one. For that, you need to open this one. Control C to copy and back to the chart. Control V and save. Control save. So let's try run. Sorry. Upload first and run. So now for the first is successful on here. Let's wait for second, and for the second is also successful. And the third is also successful. So let's print screen. And to start the program is just Control C. So that's all for task 6. So thank you.